So what we envision that we're planning to do for the station is we have divided into several different phases. So the first phase is the roof replacement, which had been completed last year. So the scope with the roof replacement, I will talk a little bit more in depth later. So we are basically finished the design for the second phase right now, which basically has the first floor and the exterior restoration and seismic and all the mechanical, electrical, fire protection system upgrade. And we are envisioning a December 2011 completion date, fairly aggressive. Phase 3 would be basically the upper 2 stories that you walk through today. We're envisioning leasing that to some tenants. We do not have funding for this phase of the work yet. Phase 4 is a phase that is actually, we're doing some of that right now. So these phases somewhat overlap. That's the multimodal hub planning phases. So it's basically trying to make sure that we provide good access for both the traffic and the pedestrians and visitors to the station and make it more workable. So the few things that we have done in the roof replacement phase. So you can see what the original, actually this is not the original, but what the roof used to look like when we got the station. This was, let me see, it had composition tiles that you could see actually were peeling off the roof. When we got the station, the roof was actually leaking. In the compass room where you were at when we were meeting today, I don't know if you remember seeing those beautiful light fixtures that are in the compass room. So when I was there, before we acquired the station, I actually saw rusty water in those lights. So we knew that we got to replace the roof right away. Otherwise, all of the work that, that was done to restore the compass room probably would be ruined. So we quickly got that done, and now, so today you would see the very pretty tile roof, and we are using the same original tiles that the station had before when it was built. The manufacturer that provided these tiles is still in business today. They're a company called Louisi, and they're in Ohio. So we're very fortunate that they still make the same profile of tile, and we got basically we're able to get that from them and use that for the station. So that was completed last year. And I don't know if you remember that the station, actually, can you see, is there
kind of wrapping around on the left side.
Yeah, the microwave tower, is it on that slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So we basically, that was an emergency communication for the Burlington Northern Railroad. And I remember one point I was asking them, so how fast can you communicate, with people? They said, oh, it takes about 2 minutes to fire it up. So I thought, wow, if it's really emergency, probably don't want to wait that long. So it really doesn't make the station look very good to have that tower, and they have not been using that for a long time. So that was actually one of the first few things that we did, is to remove that structure so that the tower can be complete. So the glass tower roof, it has a very interesting story. So like I said earlier, if you look from down on the street level, you probably wouldn't realize that the station has a glass tile roof. The tiles were made from the same company that made the clay tile for the roof. But unfortunately, they have not been making these tiles for decades. So when we got the station, there are a whole bunch of cracked and broken tiles up there, and we were trying to figure out what to do with them. Should we hire a local glass artist to maybe make a mold and then try to replicate that? I looked into that. The mold itself was going to cost somewhere between $25,000 to $30,000 just to make the mold, and then you would try to make the tiles. So I thought, I don't have that kind of budget for this. And then we thought, okay, another way to do is to get the similar profile of tiles, but in clay, to basically to replace the broken ones. But then you can imagine these are glass tiles. If you put clay next to it, in the daytime you might not notice that, but at night when we lit up the station, you would see those little patches there, and it wouldn't look very nice. So I've been in communication with the manufacturer of Luigi for a long time, asking them basically, can you see if you can find any tiles anywhere, somebody's surplus, so that we can use it to fix this the station. And one day I got a call from them and saying that, you know what, somebody called us and said that they have a building that was demolished years ago, and saying that they have saved a whole bunch of glass tiles, and they wanted to trade those glass tiles with clay tiles from us. And they were asking them, what kind of glass tiles do you have? And so fortunately, it's actually the same glass tiles that we wanted. So this building in Colorado really saved the King Street Station. So the vice president of the company basically got a piece of that tile, and he visited me in Seattle, and we walked all the way up to the clock tower and made sure that it's the same type of glass tile and it fit, and they had enough. So we were very, very fortunate. So when you looked at the glass tile today, you probably noticed that there's some of them, they're a lot more purplish in color than the other ones. Those are the ones that are from Colorado. They get a lot more sun than we do in Seattle. So those are more purple. And I think the way that they made these glass tiles back in the old days was they put manganese in it. So the manganese had some sort of chemical reaction with the sun and with the UV light, and after many years of exposure, they basically turned purple. So anyhow, so we had enough to replace that, and also I had some owner stock too. So I wanted to make sure that I would be able to fix any future cracks or broken tiles.